to part 2 in our 4-part series about pre-shift motions in the Matt Canada offense ahead of the 2022 Steelers season. Taking a look here, I want to show you guys a play from the same game as part 1, Pitt 2016 team going up against number 2 Clemson. We'll run the play. We've got a play action with a naked bootleg. Peterman's looking for the fullback. He eventually leaks out and picks up the first down. We'll take a look at it one more time. Play action. We've got the tight end coming across. Peterman pump fakes and finds the fullback for a first down. So probably nothing that exotic that we haven't seen before. It's great. The Steelers are going to have a more mobile quarterback. They can run some of these concepts and really stress the defense horizontally, vertically, which in itself is a super fun addition to this offense. But I think what's also exciting is how did we get here? So I want to take a look at the pre-snap shift that got us into this formation. At first glance, doesn't seem like too much. We've got 2 immediate vertical threats to the boundary side with James Conner and one of our receivers here. We've got a tailback in the backfield, Peterman lined up in shotgun, and we've got ourselves a H-back on the right side of the line. But if we take a look a little bit closer, one thing that stands out is that the ball is underneath the left guard, essentially. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive linemen, but it's unbalanced. Clemson responds as if the right guard here is the center. So their gap responsibilities are still going to be, A, B, C on either side, but using the right guard as kind of the center point. So that's a normal response to this kind of look. It's nothing that's so crazy. The defense would be prepared for something like this. But, just something to keep in mind as we come out of the formation. The next thing to take a look at is that we've actually, this player that's 2 spots away from the ball is actually our tight end, and 3 spots away from the ball is a tackle. The last thing to point out that you can't really see it here, but the player in the backfield is actually our left tackle. So we've got all these kind of players that are lined up in interesting places, which is going to help show one look to Clemson while still being able to shift into a much different formation, creating kind of these polar extremes of what Clemson might expect. So based on their response here, I'm seeing, 8 in the box. We've got, this safety rolled down on top of this vertical threat. And it looks like because we're a little strong to the right, we've got this strong safety maybe rolled down to support the run here. Let's take a look at the shift. Peterman comes up under center. We've got James Conner moving to the backfield. We've got our top receiver who's going to shift down to the slot on the field side. We've got this tight end who I mentioned was lined up to the right of the right guard. And our tackle, who was lined up as a tight end, shifts into his normal right tackle spot. So when all's said and done, we've got a pretty standard formation. The ball is back under center, balanced line. In fact, we're actually, we're even. So we've got a tight end to the top of the screen and our H-back to the bottom. So Clemson's defense now has to account for 8 gaps, 4 on each side of the center. You can see that they are adjusting their gap responsibility. So in a big shift like this, we're seeing all of these box defenders have to sort through whose gap is whose. You see our safety and our corner are trying to figure out what is their responsibility. A second ago, they just had 2 vertical threats on their side. One is moved into the backfield. The other is moved into slot. but then they've gained a tight end. And all of a sudden, they've actually gained 2 players to the left of where the ball was. So continuing to run it, we've got, a call from a safety here. He's probably identified at this point that, okay, that corner's got coverage responsibility on the tight end. He's going to fall back to maybe his single high. And that's when Pitt, this time, they quick snap it. Clemson's just getting set. Quick snap. We'll pause it here. This D lineman, was schemed out of the play. He was following the halfback on the weak side. Allows for a naked bootleg. We got a lot of green grass here for the quarterback to exploit. Now that the Steelers have, Trubisky and Pickett with a little more mobility, really exciting that plays like this can be added into the offense. One of our linebackers here does a nice job of, staying with the H-back here and really forcing the coverage till the end. You can see he's still stuck on the the H-back. We've got this linebacker starting to close some of this space. I think if Peterman really wants to, he can maybe get to the sideline for a gain of 1 or 2, but he's keeping his eyes down the field. He's waiting for something to come open. He presses the line of scrimmage, but then falls back again, giving his fullback a chance to leak out. As soon as this guy commits, Peterman stays in, takes the shot. You might argue this is a bit of an ill-advised throw, but I would say that because we know we're singled up everywhere, Peterman doesn't have to worry too much about, a zone defender lurking this fullback when he releases. So, he's got one-on-one everywhere. He sees it open up last minute, puts a good throw on the back shoulder, and picks up the first down. Oh, let's take a look at some more of the routes. So we see this tight end that was, a big part of the reason that the defense is looking, this is a strong formation here. We've got the tight end in line. We can imagine that might be a Zach Gentry type in the Steelers offense. He's going to just release, and he's got inside leverage to this corner. Safety rolls down, sees the flow. But, right here, Peterman, if he sees him, could probably hit him for a short gain. Peterman had maybe be looking at his 2 receivers because remember, we've got 2 receivers here to the field side with plenty of space to work with. Clemson's got some good athletes, so I'm not surprised if neither of those guys came open. People talk about progressions, read progressions. So, maybe Peterman's 1 was the receiver. Maybe his 2 is the tight end and the 3 is the fullback. Well, we have to also keep in mind that running the ball is now a progression for the quarterbacks. If nothing's available in the passing game, the final progression stop is actually just run the ball and pick up a couple yards. Now, in this case, running the ball didn't turn out so well. He wouldn't have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but just wanted to point that out in terms of, the advantages of having a mobile quarterback. So one more time, let's take a look at it all the way from the beginning. We've got all the shifting going on, the defense responding, safeties pointing, everyone looking around, drawing in the run defenders, and then eventually picking up the first down. So thanks for checking out part 2. Take a look for part 3 coming up next. We'll take a look at another play from this same game. And then in future videos, I want to start talking about some of the Steelers personnel and how they would fit this concept. So thanks again for watching. See you guys next time.